this.
Still a new DM. I'm doing my best. All right. Good evening and welcome to this week's episode of The Adventures of the Redbane Guild. And we begin with the party in a dire situation. You all have just witnessed the end of Ovai at the hands of this mysterious armored figure and his wyvern and his army of riders. They close in about you, and he approaches with his sword drawn, its flames licking up and down the blade, and you can see it melting the snow beneath as he holds it. And he approaches and says, I am Ivan Fenyor, and you have some things that I need. He approaches, he gets a little bit closer and says, now, there is no need for violence here. That is not my aim. They were necessary. But I'm not here to hurt you. I am just here for the shards. And he said he then holds up a hand almost in diplomacy and says, if you give them to me, I will allow you to walk away. Harming you is not what I'm here for. Please. Please give them to me.
Well, to be honest, we're less concerned with our lives and more concerned with you taking over the world and destroying life as we know it. And if this scene around us is any indication, we're right to be hesitant.
Yeah, well, first impressions mean everything, and you haven't given us that. You have not given us a good one.
The crimes of the past must be undone, and I will be the one to undo them. You know of the Izid, do you not?
The crimes of the past are... Are you speaking of the murder of these giants here? Those are pretty large crimes that you definitely have committed. Are you going to undo that one? Is the past so far gone that the crimes of 2 seconds ago, 5 minutes ago, are blinded to you?
That is part of it. The Izid made this planet into a profane thing. And now, that will be done away with. These giants, they were created as part of it.
And they were peacefully living part of it as well, yeah?
They stood in my way, though. That was really their only crime.
They were right too.
But I will not continue on this path of your destruction or the giants' destruction. I'm not here to end them all. Give me what I seek, and I shall turn and leave.
What exactly are you going to do with the shards?
I am going to heal the world.
A little more specific, please.
As I said, the Izid profaned this planet. They took its natural order in their hand and crushed it, and then they replaced it with their own. And if I remove that, only then will the planet be allowed to heal itself again. It will be whole. It will take time, and there will be suffering, but it will be pure again.
Quest for purity has been the quest of many a madman throughout history.
It is not my concern what they say about me, what you say about me. The word mad means nothing.
Does the word genocide mean anything to you? You can see how we believe you to be bad, yeah? And not trustworthy, yeah? And reason to doubt your intentions, yeah?
Your beliefs and intentions do... Mid-sentence, you hear a horn blast. One from the north and one from the south. Boom! These two huge war horn sounds. And he stops mid-sentence, looks, and you look off to the south, and along from a hill, breaking from the tree line, you see perhaps a dozen giants, but 300 feet away from you, perhaps. At their head is Gerundian, wielding his bow, and Buno, and several others that you recognize from the village. They run downhill, charging along with their Kula and Yendai, and behind them as well. His name. The Yuntal of the village.
Oh.
The Yuntal of the village behind him,
yeah.
as well as he and several others. And you begin to hear the thrumming of heavy bows, and several arrows, nearly a meter long, land in the ground about you. One takes one of the riders straight to the ground. And from the north, over a rocky rise, come perhaps nearly 50 Furbolg, with their bows as well. And it is at this moment that Ivan Fenur grimaces, points at several of his riders. Halt them here! And he turns and mounts up back upon his wyvern and takes to the air, along with a good division of his riders, who break off, fanning out to meet the opposing force. There is a moment where all seems silent, but you see the force from the north and from the south enclosing upon your position. And then the crash as the forces collide. These three riders that are left with you hold you at sword point and attempt to hold you there as the fray of battle threatens to crash in upon you. You hear the slash and splash and the horn blasts as the giants and the Fribolg and the riders clash upon the land. Roll initiative!
Hey.
Wait.
Anyways, roll initiative.
I rolled a 5.
9.
8. I always roll the lowest. Oh, well, you rolled the lowest this
I
time.
rolled the lowest.
Yay! I didn't roll the lowest this time. It's gonna be
Okay, 9 was Mirwin.
5.
9 was Ian.
5 with Mirren.
5. Okay, 9 was Warris.
Worth was what?
8.
8 and 5 was... Oh. They're not rolling good.
That's what I like to hear.
How about that?
Okay.
I'm gonna do something about my lighting.
So, it all becomes like this strange standstill moment as they stand there with swords still pointed at you, but this crazed battle about them. And one of the riders just loses his nerve and just comes for a big hack straight at Wareth.
Ah,
He swings just this wild arc. Does a 4 hit?
it does not.
He makes this wild slash and just completely whiffs, like at your face, and comes around for a second one. Does a 9 hit?
Not.
This you just like juke, and he can't get even the tip of his blade even close to you. And that's him, and it's you. You are up.
I want to say to him, if that's the best you guys have to offer, then I think the Furbolgs have a pretty easy time ahead of them.
You will perish.
There's 3 of them squaring up with us.
Yes.
All right, so with mine, I'm going to draw the brand new staff. Dip dang Daru, I never got that thing printed out. All right, well, anyways, I'm going to take the brand new staff. And I am going to go for 2 attacks with that thing. Let me go ahead and scroll back up to. I don't think any of the effects that it has is important for. So first 2 attacks with it. One is going to be pitiful. It's going to be a 9.
That one does not hit.
Then the other one is a natural 1.
Oh, yeah. With that, you swing just way over his head, and you kind of slip a little bit on the snow, and so you're like flip around and bump into Wareth a little bit, but nothing
You're making us
terrible.
look bad.
Nothing too terrible happens, but you kind of spin in this complete circle.
All right, then I'm going to follow it up with 1 punch. 1 punch! Oh man, that's going to be a 10. This dice might be retired.
Yeah, that's a bad dice. Yeah, you get as you whirl back around, you attempt to go for a swipe, but he steps just back from it.
The dice was rolling real hot last week, and now this week it's just been pitiful.
Yeah.
It's a weird, funky one.
Weird, funky one.
And if that is yours, then it's Worth next.
That would be mine.
Okay. So I want to. I guess I will attack. I will attack him with here.
Okay.
That is 16. Snow 17.
16.
17. What did you do?
Yeah, that hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Oh, ooh, 10.
Oh, nice. So you get your rapier up in there, and you get a solid slash up to the on the one there for 10 damage. It is. Let's see. It is Thicket's turn. As Thicket.
Come over to help us.
He and.
That's right. He and the lady.
Yeah. He and my.
You
I
remember
was
stuff.
thinking of Fenwick.
My brain's a little off
Fenwick,
tonight.
whatever.
He and Miali were, and as well as Brecken, all 3 of them were knelt there with you guys.
Oh.
Well, not knelt, but were pressed in there with you guys. So they all get turns as well, and 2 of them rolled the same number, and then right next, right and then two of the riders rolled the number below them. Yeah. So
Okay.
Thicket takes his knife and does a swing, a slash upward at one. Uh, but the rider slaps it away with his sword, and it is Mieli's turn. She takes that hammer that she's got and wow, takes a wallop at the same one, and she just twang, slams it in the rider in the side, taking it. You can see it caves its armor in a bit.
A lot of fire on these purple. So, do you have like hit points stats and stuff for all the giants as well?
I mean, I have stat blocks for.
For
I know I have their stat blocks, and I have a particular ones for Garundian and Kenwick and stuff, and I've got stat blocks for the three that are with you now. Sorry, I'm still writing things down. Okay, it is the second rider's turn. The one closest to Mirwin, and he takes his sword and slash at you. Does an 18 hit?
Yes.
So his sword gets on your armor. Giving you 9 slashing damage.
Is that to Worth?
Mirwin.
To Mirwin?
And is the other oh wait, I took one attack. So his other attack, he comes back with a thrust. It does a 10 hit. And that one, you get your shield up and it goes straight off and you take no damage. It is Mirwin's turn. You can strike back at him.
Yeah, strike him with my axe. Hit him in the face.
Hey, that's my thing.
Punch him in the face.
The first one is a 12.
Does not hit.
Now you're getting mouth noises in your microphone.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Out of 14.
That one doesn't hit either.
Ah.
So you take two wild slashes at him, but he fends both of them, glancing them off his sword blade. And it's Brecken, who takes his short sword and he absolutely wrecks this one, the first one. The blade, you see, goes way in. And that's quite a bit of damage. You see the sword kind of go in and go out through his side, and Brecken pulls it back, Rah! Doing my best impression of a Brecken war cry. And that's Brecken's turn. Back up to the top.
Ruin the silence in the library, you don't.
How dare you? I've been learning about these books for weeks. It's the first rider engaged with Warth, who will come back with another hard, like overhand, kind of at you. And for him, does it add 19 to hit?
Yes, that indeed does hit.
And that one, you feel it slam into you, and you take 8. You take 8 slashing damage. And with his second attack, you see this blade flashing around you. Does a 16 hit?
Um, yes, but I would like to use as a reaction, I would like to use my defensive duelist
Okay.
to raise my AC and deflect by adding 3, and so it does not hit.
Yeah, so you actually get your sword up in there, your rapier, just as it looks like his blade's about to make contact with you. You ching, slap it out of the way, and it's back to you.
Baby. I would like to. Not doing so hot on the first time. I'd like to square off against the same dude and try it again. Center myself, starting anew with a new die. And the same thing, 2 attack strikes, 12 plus 5. That would be the first for 17.
That hits.
17. Do we know their AC yet? Determined?
Like 15 or 16.
Okay. For the first, that's max damage, which will be, sorry, 10 points of damage on my first attack.
Okay.
Second is going to be 11. Probably won't hit.
Does not
But
hit.
then I'd like to do Flurry of Blows.
Okay.
17.
Hits.
I would like that is max damage again. That will be
Ooh.
8 points of damage. 10, 8. On my first Flurry of Blows, that was a natural 1 on the second Flurry of Blows. On my first Flurry of Blow, I would like to knock him prone, so I need him to make a dex save, please.
The DC is
1, 3, 13.
he does not save.
Knock him prone, and then do my other Flurry of Blows,
Okay.
which
Yeah, he falls to the
I
ground,
get
taking
advantage on it.
thuds and slap from your staff.
Advantage because he's prone brings me up to a 21
That's a hit.
on my second Flurry of Blow attack, which would be an additional 5 points of damage.
You absolutely get back up in his face after the first spin around and whiff, and you give him hard staff blows to the head and side and arm, and you knock him down and finish with a nice big crack to the back, and he is down on the ground. It's Warth's turn.
If you didn't think I was enough of a threat the first time, then I'll prove that I am the second time.
Oh, it's my turn now?
It is indeed.
Okay, then I will attack this same guy again.
Alrighty.
And thing I use to attack people. Ooh, and it's a very high number, 25.
That is definitely a hit.
Good job, Warith.
I don't
Some-
suppose
I'm-
anyone else is engaged with this guy at the same time as I am.
Yeah, actually, this is the same one that Mealy is engaged with.
I mean, I get some sweet
Sneak
sweet
attack.
You
sneak
get some
attack.
sneak attack. Yeah, you do.
All right, so that was 8 points of damage from the rapier. Snack
Doubled 8. Is that
13.
That's 13 total damage.
That's 13 from the sneak attack. alone.
Oh yeah. How do you want to do this? He goes down hard.
I just run him through, all like smooth and with this beautiful fluid, solid motion,
Oh, that's
and then
cool.
it told you. And then I release my sword and he drops down.
Yep, he is out. Well done. Warth. Next it is Thicket, who then turns back to that second rider. And taking a swipe with his knife. Thicket can't get there this time. The rider is a little bit too quick with his sword. and deflects Thicket's blow. And then it is Mealy who is back with her warhammer in a hard, strike. But the rider gets his sword under the head of her warhammer and like twists it around and out of her hands, and she drops it straight onto the ground. And now it is that very same rider's turn, and he'll take a shot at Mieli, whom he has just disarmed. And that hits, and you see him like pivot off of this advantage he's got now from disarming her, and an upper hand cut hits her hard, even though she's much taller. He kind of manages he's a pretty tall guy too, manages to get a cut in. And now it's the second rider's turn. This one is the one engaged with Bew, who will now attack you, having been shown what a threat you are. He will begin by getting up from prone. Then the second he will attack you with an 18 to hit.
Yeah, that will hit.
Yeah, first you see his anger in his eyes as he rises from you having put the beat down on him, and he gets a slash in at you for 8 slashing damage.
Parry.
Yeah. Roll that dice, baby.
Oh, dip. That's not very good. That'll just be reducing it by 3 damage, but still.
Reduced by 3. So you expended your superiority die for the short rest. Hey, pretty cool maneuver though. Anyways, yes. So you reduce the amount on that. And he'll take his he'll take his second attack. You kind of like take the staff, and as he goes for the first one, you like get a little bit off of it, like knock it away from where he was going. It still made a little bit of contact, but you reduced it and took it off its path. And for his second attack, that's going to be an 8.
Yeah, that does not hit.
Does not hit. And so you kind of threw him off a little bit, and as he comes back and whirls the blade, it misses you completely. We're back to Warth.
Okay, there's still 2 guys left, right?
Yeah, you're basically still in melee range with all of them. You have to move less than 5 feet to engage with any of them.
Okay. The one that's attacking the girl,
Yeah.
Girl.
I will attack him.
Okay.
Person.
His dumb, stupid face.
Ooh. It's 23.
Hit. Only some damage. With sneak.
Yes. Oh, advantage as well.
Yeah.
So the rapier damage is an 8. The sneak attack is an 11.
By God, you've done it again. You take him out. Tell me how you want to do this.
Is that the one that was attacking me, or?
I was the one that's attacking the furball girl.
Yeah, that's the third one. Yeah, that's the third one.
I ran and threw my sword through him, and turn away to go towards the other guy to him, not even pay attention to him as he falls to the ground dead. He's so unimportant. Yeah, I guess that makes up for not having 2 attacks.
Yeah, that damage is spicy. That sneak.
Spicy
So it's Thicket back at the one that is engaged with Bew. Thicket gets it in this time. He's having the anger from seeing Miali be hurt. He Get away from her! And
I was pointing to the dog like, go away, get out of here. But
and Thicket lands this huge crush, two-hand, like with the knife, this huge Furbolg punch, Donkey Kong punch style on his head.
Turbo punch!
Furbolg punch! Mealy recovers, first picking up, picking up her weapon, and is picking up your weapon in action.
It's usually bonus action is sheathing, unsheathing a weapon. It's normally not an action, I don't think. Hold on.
I can Google it real quick.
Picking up a weapon, 5E. Picking up or drawing an action, taking action.
no.
Here are a few examples of things you can do in tandem with your movement and action. What? You are allowed to interact with only one object per turn for free. So that's a free action to draw or sheath a weapon. So a free action to pick
Yeah.
up a weapon?
Okay, so she gets down first to scoop her warhammer, and she goes for this, like scooping it up to striking at the guy. But she can't get there either, and she whiffs as he steps back, and she just misses his face by a few inches. And we're on to it is the to Mirwin.
I am going to swing my axe wildly at his head.
Yes, this is the last rider now is pressed in by all 6 of you, and he's losing hope.
Does a 16 hit?
Yes, it do.
6 damage.
Oh boy,
And
he
then
looks rough. He looks rough.
does another 16 hit?
It still does hit. Yes.
5 more damage.
Yes, Mirwin, you take him out. How do you want to do this?
I run and jump and pick off his head.
Goes the little dwarf.
So violent, what have I done to you?
And the final rider collapses. But all about you still, the battle rages. And up next to you, in another moment, you see Buno. He comes and looses an arrow and kind of gets down next to you guys. He says, oops. Where'd my notes go? My tablet is being weird. Second. There we go. Okay, so Buno kind of gets right down next to you. He says, "My children, hurry! You must get thee gone. Your mounts and your wagon are safe at the mill north of here. Just, you must get there as soon as you can. And then flee. You get to Greenfell Cove on the west coast. You'll find your friends there. Thicket, merely take them there. Show them the way."
Yeah, we will go. Thank you for all that you have done for us.
Just run. I hope to see you.
Go.
I hope to see you all again one day, my children. And he launches an arrow, and that spears through a rider that was headed your direction. You see as well the wyvern dipping in and out of this battle, providing the most support for the rider army. These gouts of flame do take out giant and Furbolg alike, and though they shoot these arrows, Many of them, he glances off his shield or strikes with this flaming sword, and he takes a slow swoop over you, and you feel the heat that seems to radiate off of the wyvern. And you
Can
are
I
in the midst of this battle.
can I at least try to hit the wyvern with an arrow? Not aiming at him, just aiming at the wyvern to kind of sap some of its strength.
Yeah, so he's just flown over you guys. So you kind of spin him out, make an attack roll.
Ugh. 9.
Yeah, it arcs up and just kind of gets lost in the distance.
Mark off another arrow.
And so all about are Firbolg and Giant and riders clashing with them in this absolute chaos. And bodies fall and fly. These riders, though they numbered in the hundreds, are falling, but so are the Firbolg, and so are giants.
I run to the stable.
Run, run, run.
Yes, so he
Yeah.
said it was to the mill to the north of town.
We go find them.
Run to the mill.
So you run, and as you run, please make an athletics check to kind of make your way through the battlefield, navigate the fray.
Through the battlefield where everything is chaos. And the only I forget the rest of the 13.
19.
The way you feel. Just imagine how you'll be
13.
after the war.
You make it through. You make it through the battlefield. You weave through the fighting and the clashing of weapons, and you make it near to the edge of the battle. And you hear a noise behind you. And you turn and you see Thicket fall. And there is an arrow pierced straight through his shoulder on his left side, dangerously close to his heart. And he help me! Ah!
Yeah, I'll go back for Thicket.
And Miali and you are able to get him up to his feet, but you see the blood running running hot and red quickly from this arrow wound.
I'd like to snap off the tip and then pull it out the back. Yeah, this is going to hurt.
Yeah, make a medicine check.
And then I want to be ready with a tearful nightshade as soon as he's got it out.
Oh, I don't want it to hurt.
Oops, that did not.
Ah!
12.
You're able to do it without too much issue. You snap that head off, and ah! He cries as you pull it off the other end. Ah! And you see Alira reaching her. I keep saying her name wrong. I named her. I came up with this name. You see Miali reach into her bag, and she gets some bandages out, and kind of begins to just take a quick wrap of bandages around his arm and chest. And she says, "Let's go. We'll treat him at the mill or something."
Yeah.
And by this time, you are past the battlefield, and you reach the tree line in only a few more moments. And you see, looking back, you see and hear the booming voice of Garundian. He says, "You were worthy. Well done. Now take the shard far from here." And he turns and runs back toward the battle. So you are in the tree line, and you don't see any pursuers right now.
You are a cool dude.
Yes.
Do we see the mill? Presumably, windmill is what's in my head.
Yeah, it's sort of it's pretty much a windmill, but you don't see it yet. You continue through. What'd you say? You guys are muted,
No, we're
I think. Oh,
not.
Oh.
Can-
No.
oh, I just didn't hear anything you were saying for several seconds.
That's weird.
Oh, you're back now.
I was thinking mill, and she was thinking sawmill.
Well, that's 3 different types of mills, and good job, guys.
I was thinking peppermill and had no idea how they fit behind it.
It's a giant.
Oh, it's a
sized
giant's
peppermill.
peppermill. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's the Isle of Giant thing, the Isle of Big Things. It takes you. You head straight north because that's pretty much. I mean, that's all the direction you got, and within a half hour, you break into a clearing where there is a giant's yurt, and beside it, a large, but still kind of a large, kind of stout, still the style of windmill. And outside of it, tied up, are Tinkerbell, Fabian, and the cart.
Oh.
Does our furball lady still have her cart with her?
No, the cart was gone, and so is her bear.
Oh,
The bear ran off, and
Didn't
that's
tear
just
up a bunch of riders because it's a
It-
bear.
it.
trinket.
No,
Fail
not
its con
Trinket.
save.
It's Mossface. No, he was lost in the fray.
Okay.
He kind of stood by, and then and you
I'm
weren't
a lover,
sure
not a fighter.
if he made it into the rest of the fight or not, but it was, you know, he's a white bear and kind of blended in with the snow, except for his face, which is obviously green. But he was gone from when you left.
Yeah, we will not dwell on that right now. Into the cartari. Thicket. Into the back.
Will
Lie down and get that treated. Come on.
that thing support me? I suppose there's no. And he climbs up over and
Up and get up.
he lays
Yeah,
back
it
down
will
into it.
support you.
He says, "Oh, it is well built. Oh, good construction." Oh, thank you, Brecken says. I didn't make it myself, but I bought it. Now let's go. Come on.
Well, I bought it myself.
I leap onto Tinkerbell, and once I'm in the saddle, Lena, it's a good girl. I missed you. Who's a good girl?
She is visibly pleased to see you.
Mhm.
Visibly pleased. And Brecken slaps the jackass.
It is
Right
in
now,
every sense.
in the middle of a war, we're going to. Is that what you're going to do?
Well, just I had to see Fabian again.
Yeah,
So let's
I
get
know
going.
that. I know that there is a time to relieve stress, but right now. Okay, you got to cut all that.
Yeah, got all of this.
I lean out into Tinkerbell like, "You ready to go, girl?" And I want to ride out ahead of everybody and just kind of scouting as we're going.
Yeah, so it's past midday now, and you head off into this is pretty much a clearing, kind of basically just surrounded by forest. There's sort of a footpath that leads back towards Ovai, the city formerly known as Ovai, and
Aw, oh man.
Ash
yeah,
pile, formerly known.
and on into the forest. It looks like it's snowed here within the past couple of days, and the forest gets thicker. And Miali continues to treat and attend to Thicket, and he seems uh, both in pain and pleased that she's taking care of him.
I want to kind of look back at Thicket and wink at him.
He winks back at you, but you can see that Thicket doesn't know how to wink, so he goes,
I smile and shake my head.
What's up, baby?
"Oh, oh."
Don't bite me. Don't bite me. Don't bite me.
They're
Don't bite
singing.
me. Don't bite me.
And on into the forest you go, and evening falls, and you don't you don't see any signs of pursuers, and you haven't seen the wyvern. You are past the sounds of battle, and Miali has kind of points. uh, this this is where we need to begin heading west. Greenfell Cove's on the west coast, about our pace, and perhaps 12 days. It is a
All
journey.
the way to the east end.
I wish that I wish that I had more information, but I suppose that that's where. Well, your friends. Who are your friends? That Bruno said your friends would be waiting there. Who is that?
Yeah, we have a
ship that took us
ship.
here.
Really?
Yeah,
Huh. Is Greenfell Cove where you docked first?
No.
I don't believe so. I
Uh,
don't believe it is at all, which is surprising. It only took us, if I'm not mistaken, Miro, and it only took us 4 days to get to Ovai.
Oh, you must have landed nearer the southern coast.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I don't know. There was a guy cutting up squid, and
Oh, of course, I know him. Now, then, this is a bit of a longer journey, and
Yeah, certainly.
some of the terrain is rough, and I certainly hope we make it with, especially with Thicket in the way he is. All the rest of you are unharmed, though. I hope.
Yeah,
Fair,
mostly.
better,
you're
but I'm
walking at
not
least.
permanently injured.
We're doing okay.
I've been outside of the cart, just kind of keeping pace.
Yeah. By this time, the night has set in, and she says we should stop. Thicket needs a rest. We all need rest. We need to find a safe place.
12 days. 12 days?
Really? You can't hear?
I didn't hear that last sentence at all.
What the heck, internet?
Internet bad.
Anyway, I want to look around for a safe place to camp that'll be as hidden as possible if they come looking for us.
Yeah. So you're still heading through a fairly thick forest, but it would be a good idea to find somewhere hidden looking. So roll me a survival check as you head off to scout about the area on Tinkerbell looking for this place.
11.
You ride off and begin to scout. You find a couple of okayish places where there are some thicker bushes obscuring view. You don't find anything great, just kind of semi-great. So
I'll come
good, I
back
guess.
and tell
Okay.
them I found some semi-grade places. Nothing too special, but the best I could find.
Well, I suppose you should show us what you found because we've little time left and no light left to travel by.
I do that.
So you lead the party off from where you've been, the way you've been traveling. And there's the one spot that you lead them to. There's some thick foliage in a ring of gnarled trees, and it's a decent place to settle down. And Mieli says this will do, and kind of begins to make camp for the night.
I want to take care of the horse and make sure he's not okay. She's okay from all the running we've been doing, and clean her up, brush her back. I didn't see her, and I want to feed her. I also want to make sure I'm keeping an eye out for riders and the people following us.
Yeah, you can go ahead and make a perception check.
Mm. 12.
You don't see anything, any immediate threats around you, and you don't hear anything off in the forest that might be sound like it's coming towards you. You hear some animals, but nothing threatening right now.
Uh, do you think it would be wise to search for food for tonight, or maybe just rely on our rations and maybe hunt when we're a little bit farther away?
I am very hungry. I guess says Mealy has helped him. Mealy and Brecken now have helped him to out of the cart and kind of set him up against one of the trees there, and she's kind of tending at his wound, and you still see the blood has continued to soak through his bandages, and he looks like he's still in pain, though it's probably not dire right now. Mealy seems to be keeping a close eye on him.
Well, then I will go search for some game, and maybe then that will help you feel better. I think it.
Oh, that would be. I would love some game.
A lot
And
more mouths to feed than we did before.
and
Yeah,
Brecken's
bite too.
Brecken says, "What food do we have with us right now? We've nothing left in the cart. What do you have on you?"
Just a few rations. We honestly didn't leave with too many.
I have some thicket mix.
Of course you do.
Yeah, you do.
Munch
Just
on
a
that in
little
the
bit.
meantime.
He pulls out he pulls a bag of thicket mix off of his belt and offers it up to you guys.
I have.
Have some. Uh,
I want to go search for some food as well.
okay.
Yeah, I'm hunting.
Bu and Warth, you guys head off into the forest. Mirwin, what do you do?
I'm also going to go hunting.
All right, you three head off into the forest. The rest of the party begin to get a fire going, get some things unpacked, bed rolls out, on the watch for anything that might be out of the ordinary. And you head off into the forest and go ahead and make me some survival checks.
Why are my rolls awful today?
Natural 20.
Oh,
7.
okay. 27 and 4. Warth, you're the only one who sees this. You all three kind of staying close together, branching out into a little bit as you get deeper into the forest looking for some game. And sorry, Warth, you observe a fine-looking white deer,
Ooh.
larger than most species you've seen before. Um, it's not quite the size of an elk, but it's very elegant, and its fur is almost all white.
Got a nice rack, this one.
Yeah, it's stellar, tall and branching out.
I went to very carefully take my crossbow out and set up and make sure I'm aiming just very carefully and take my time, and then I will shoot it.
Okay, you take a bit of time to prepare, so please go ahead and roll with advantage. Really readying for the shot.
Well, that first roll was a 19.
That hits, yeah. Go ahead and well, you know,
It was better than the second roll.
okay. This absolutely hits, and
You
with
get
that
sneak attack.
with that roll, you would get sneak attack, but I'm not even gonna really require damage. You hit it straight through, straight through heart lungs. It runs off a few paces, but eventually just stumbles over and dies.
Go up to it and kind of field dress it there for a minute and gut it a little bit so I can bring something a little more ready to go back to camp.
Sure. Do you two also see him do this? He didn't tell you he was going to do it. You just heard a launch of the crossbow bolt and turned to see this deer fall to the ground.
Wow, impressive.
Yes,
How did you see that in the snow?
I have dark vision.
Yeah, that is some good game. That will feed us for several days.
Oh, Thicket said he was very hungry, so.
Well,
It will feed us for exactly 1 day. Yeah.
So you're able to get it back to camp without too much trouble. And Thicket and the others are visibly impressed at your catch.
not bad
And
for a
you
city
guys
boy.
go ahead and do you guys start to kind of carve it up.
Up and cook it.
Yeah, you get some good cuts out of this thing. Some slabs of venison, and you cook it up. And Thicket is just drooling over it. Like, oh, is it done yet? I'm so hungry. I could eat the whole thing.
But you.
I look at Mirwin. I'm very paranoid. I'm going to take a look around. Just make sure no one's following us. We don't have any eyes.
Yeah, head around. You kind of get around the make a round around the camp. Go ahead and roll perception.
Woo! 18.
You can tell that there are searchers out there in the wilderness. They're far, and they're not near you yet. Not near enough to see you or your fire. But there definitely is someone looking for you.
Yeah, well, as soon as I'll come back to the camp. As soon as we can, we need to douse the fire. Stow any traces of us and hide. There are people looking for us.
I feared as much, said Brecken.
Yeah.
Didn't think we would get away that easy.
No, certainly not on the first night. We'll have to be vigilant every night, but as soon, the very moment that we can, we need to douse this fire. No doubt it is leaving a smoke trail back to us.
I'm nearly finished with this piece of game. I guess it should be. Well, we'll have to split it up and share it. Thicket can get the major proportion, and I think the rest of us will have to subsist for the night. Let's douse it.
Are there any cliffs around or slight in banks?
Not at this point. It's still you're still on fairly flat land right now.
It'll be difficult to hide our cart and animals.
We'll have to rely on being as quiet and dark and still as possible. This fire needs to go out right now, says Miali.
Yeah.
As she begins to tear down the fire, taking everything off of it, the meat, and douses it, stamps it out, and within moments it is pitch dark in the camp.
Yeah, we'll definitely need watches tonight. Maybe 2 at a time.
2 at a time for sure. This is a dangerous night. This will be the most dangerous of all the nights.
I would like to go to sleep first and not take first watch because I'm far below.
Well, that's fair, I suppose.
Yeah. Warith and Thicket, you sleep the entire night. The rest of us will take full watch.
Okay. I'm so sleepy. Oh, but That's very good venison, though.
Okay.
Mm.
You and me merely. We will take first watch, and I will let you. Yeah, he went out fast, didn't he?
Thicket dozes with pieces of meat still in his hand.
Well, he was very injured. You and me first, melee, and then we'll wake up Brecken and Mirwin for second watch.
Aye, that sounds good. So you guys fall asleep. You and Miali both begin to take this first watch and roll perception for me.
Please be good. Hey, 17.
It takes about an hour before you hear the wing beats of the wyvern somewhere in the sky about you.
Looking around just real quick, how visible is everybody? Is there any blatancies that I could kick some snow over and kind of blend in a little bit more?
Well, your fire is out and and has been for a decent amount of time. You don't see that there's anything too visible. You are like dark and still in the forest, so there's nothing that you there, and Worth picked a pretty good place to bed down. Good
We're
enough
also
that you're not too
white
visible.
snow around us in dark shapes, so just like
Like tree cover,
it,
right?
it's it seems, yeah, I guess there is tree cover.
You do have tree cover. The trees over you, most of them are. It's not quite as dense overhead as the previous forest was coming back from the land of the Furbolg to the to Hawaii, where the sun almost didn't penetrate through. But you do have a decent amount of the fir trees above you. Although there is white snow, it would take a pretty good amount. It would take a pretty good perception check to see through to some specific shapes on the ground.
How bad is the cart? Is the cart crazy bad?
It's not too bad. You might if you covered it with branches or something, it wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, but we are now hearing him flying around. The movement might be enough.
And
Um,
the wing beats persist but fade after about a couple minutes. So you can tell there's a search pattern going on.
I'm gonna take a couple handfuls of snow and kind of scatter it to kind of break up the shape of the cart,
Okay. Yeah, you were able to do that.
just so that it isn't like a dark. Anywhere that there's a heavy shadow,
hmm
like really dark shadow, I'm going to fill with snow, so that it kind of offsets the dark with some light. So it's you know the face painting technique where you put light on the where the natural shadow is and you put dark where the highlights are.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
trying to apply the same camouflage techniques where there's darkness. I'm trying to put light snow.
Yeah, make a survival check to see how effective this all is.
Oh, this is important. Please
We
roll
don't change
high.
things too much.
That's a natural 20.
You expertly get about the camp, and you're able to perceive very, very well where the solid dark shapes are that might be most visible, and you're able to you heap snow and maybe a few branches over them, and you are able to obscure your campsite much better than it was before. Good work, Bu, says Miali. Good thinking.
Now is the time for the most prudence in our actions. I'm very worried about the cart and the animals. They are our biggest ships, easiest to track.
I wonder if Moss Face is somewhere out there. I sure hope so.
You have a deep bond with the animal, I presume.
Yes, had it for many years.
He He will find you.
I believe he will, if he got out of there alive, that is.
Yeah.
But he's a shrewd beast. He would live to fight another day.
Yeah.
So,
He has natural camouflage of his own. He most likely squirmed his way out of there and is tracking our scent. Probably better than whatever things are hunting us now.
I think you're right. Now, Bew, understand my position a bit here. I've only been with you all for a few days, and this is all a whole lot for me. I was just going to bring some goods into Hawaii, and now I'm on the run with all of you, and I'm not even 100% sure what this is all about.
Yeah.
What happened in our lands?
You
There's only a
are
few details, but
you are under no obligation to stay with us. You have no reason to lead us any further than you have. You have every right to fear for your own safety and take thicket and hunker down until the danger is past. Because honestly, when you are with us, you are in the most danger. You are closer to death now than you possibly ever have been before. We came from a very distant land, on what could be a fool's errand, on legend and folklore, and merely our presence being here has brought you into danger. We thought that this shot in the dark of coming to the Isle of Giants, where it seemed that there was no reason for the item that we were searching for, the shard, if you know anything about the Vault of Ages or the shards or anything like that.
only what you've mentioned over the past few days.
Yeah.
I've heard of a
Uh,
vault, but I didn't even know you'd been in there.
yeah, we were down in there. Turns out it is important for overall the at least it is important to Brecken here, and it is important to those who are chasing us. And we, by our very being here, have brought all of that onto you.
I don't blame you. I blame. Who was that man?
We have not seen him before. We have not seen him before at all. We have seen ones like his army, his riders with them. We have fought them, and they used dark and powerful magics to combat us. They walk through walls and call down evil upon us. You have every right to point us in a direction and then deal with your own situation. You have every right to leave us, and I don't think any one of us would blame you for that. Not any one of us would blame you for that.
Well, most of this is far over my head, but Bruno said to help them find the way,
Yes,
and
I,
to, I'm going to do that.
that is
I'm going to do that. I don't know what's become of Bruno now.
that is incredibly noble of you, and we don't we don't expect you to fulfill on that, because for the reason that we are the reason this evil is here. Uh, you don't have to fulfill Bruno's contract anymore. It is not binding. You can prudently leave us to our ways. We will find the east, whatever it is.
Well, it's west first of all. I think you
Is
may
it?
have the west coast.
Well, Mirwin
Well,
would remember the details.
I'm certain she would, but we will see. We will come with you. We will see the way. We will see you through to the end, and then we will find our way back to the Aer Daure somehow. I hope.
That is
Fuck, I'm not there.
No.
that is incredibly noble of you.
We'll take care of Thicket. He'll be okay.
I suppose with that, if you have any questions, you giving us this noble kindness. If you have any questions, it is well within your rights to know every answer I can provide.
Well, I suppose I'm so overflowing with questions. I can't think of exactly what I want to say. I suppose I have a rough idea. The things that that man said were awfully scary. I suppose that we're trying to prevent him from doing those awful things he was saying that he was going to do. I suppose that's the long and short of it.
That would be correct. From at least my understanding, I don't know his exact motives behind why he is after these shards. To be honest, I don't have an exact motive under why we are after these shards. But I know that at least we are are working with someone who was there when the shards were created, understands very deeply the danger behind them, and wishes to rid the world of any temptation of using them as a weapon. Whereas that man there, Ivan, uh, only brings with him death, only
I
brings with him destruction,
I can
and
see that.
wishes to use the shards in what I can only describe as evil. I am basing that off of he attacked our giants, the giants here on the isle, all out war.
Can't believe what he did to Ove. That place has stood for so many millennia, and now it's just they burned it, just like almost like it was nothing. I can't even believe it. Things some people will do. And at this point, first watch is over.
Has it been about 4 hours?
Yep.
Well, Mealy, get some rest.
I shall, and you too.
I'll wake up the other two, but I'm not gonna go to sleep yet.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep eyes out.
Mealy goes to sleep. You are poked awake, Mirwin, as is Brecken.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm up.
You too. We heard the Wervin overhead.
Oh no.
It seems to have passed, and I have done a little bit of work on the camp. I think I'm going to stay up just a little while longer, just to lend my eyes until I can't. And even if I'm up all night, I'll just sleep in the cart tomorrow. Yeah.
Sure. Well, if you feel the need to doze off, don't hesitate. Mirwin and I have it.
Let's be sure that it's all quiet first.
All right. Roll me perception checks for this next shift.
17.
8.
8. Mirwin, you don't hear much. Brechen and Bu, though, you pick up on faint footprints or footsteps, hoof steps, hoof beats, far off in the distance, and even just the occasional whisper of a voice. A couple of people talking amongst themselves through the forest. You don't see anyone, Not even any shapes or shadows. But you can almost feel their presences.
Make eye contact with Brecken.
I heard too. Let's keep it way down. They could be anywhere.
Hinky.
You're almost afraid to breathe at this point. Mirwin.
That's not the DM making signals to Mirwin. That's Brecken making signals to Mirwin. For a second, I thought the opposite. The DM was trying to do something to Mirwin that we didn't know about.
Before Murin says, "Well, I don't hear anything."
Don't. Quiet. No noise at all. There are. He comes over to you. Listen close. There are riders out there. They're looking for us. Let's just keep quiet and don't move.
It's a good thing Mirwin's asleep and not asleep snoring.
Yeah, how about you just don't go to sleep? You just
Oh, days.
no snoring. That's great. Second watch as well passes without incident.
I did not sleep.
Okay. And for third watch, what are you guys gonna do? I can stay up. It's no problem.
I might as well stay up so I don't snore.
You can speak loudly so you're heard, but you'll be whispering in the
No, I'm
character.
You can.
Hopefully
you
the
can
microphone will pick you up.
I'll sleep.
If
I
you're,
might snore, so I better stay awake.
oh, that'll work. That's fine. Mirwin and I can take it if you wish to sleep. All we've got to really do, I think, is stay still and quiet, and then just pray that they don't stumble upon us. We're not doing anything to bring attention to ourselves, at least. And the camp looks good.
If I doze off, I doze off. But I'm going to try to stay awake just a while longer. I honestly don't trust it right now.
Sure. For you do feel the exhaustion of the last few days dragging at your eyelids, though. Make a Constitution save.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind. If I fail this con save, then I'll go to sleep. If I succeed, I'm staying awake. 9.
You drift back and sit down, making an excuse to yourself that I'm just gonna sit down to rest my legs, and then it's morning. You blink awake to sunlight. Huh.
Yeah. Any news, Mirwin, Brecken?
Nothing else transpired during the night. They didn't find us. We're still just being quiet, I guess. We didn't really hear anything more. Nothing happened.
I like how we could
Alright.
just completely heal our wounds by going to sleep each night.
Yep.
It's pretty
It's
great. I was thinking about like the logistics of that, and it would make a much more desperate, difficult game if you didn't. If it was like you could recover. If it was different, it would make a very different game. It wouldn't be as fast paced.
yeah, it would be
Harder
grindy
to
and
play.
Yeah, it would take more time and be real grindy. It could be fun, definitely, if done right. But yeah.
If done right. If done right. Um, and then it just turned into, well, we're gonna rest for 3 days.
Yeah, that's basically what would happen. But anyways, for now, you guys do get a long rest, and you feel better. Thicket really doesn't feel that much better though. He's awake and groaning a little bit. Mealy's like, Thicket, we've got to be quiet. There are riders out there searching for us. They'll probably still be searching through the day, but we don't have any choice but to move on. Uh, oh, oh, uh, okay, let's go then.
Yeah,
Um,
you're doing well, Thicket.
I want to do
Well,
is
it
look
hurts.
around.
It hurts. Looking around.
Yeah, to see if any riders are nearby.
Yes, make an investigation check if you're gonna go around the camp and check around the area.
Go find
Yes.
one and assassinate him.
I best investigate.
I'd best do that.
Ooh.
What was that?
21.
21. Okay, you make your way out slightly into the forest and kind of do a little pattern, looking if you can see anything, and you find that two pairs of footsteps of footprints, not hoof prints, but people on foot, passed fairly dangerously close to the camp last night, but did not find it. And those tracks you follow a bit, and you find that those two pairs of tracks diverged and headed north. So you had a kind of a close call, but you were not spotted.
Well, and I go back to the camp and relay that information to the others.
What was that?
I relay that information to the others, and I say, let's keep moving.
Oh, I suppose we should. If they find us, we fight, I guess. But it seems two. You said two pairs, so they're probably hunting for us in packs of no more than two or three. We can handle two or three if they come upon us in the forest.
Yes.
Hopefully
Yeah.
not. Hopefully not. It wouldn't happen at night. That would be preferable, and hopefully it's not the wyvern that finds us. But if a couple of riders or a couple of mounted or foot soldiers find us, I think we'll be okay.
But all of us in fighting condition either. If one of them gets a shot in at Thicket while we're distracted,
That would be bad. Oh no, I would not. I wouldn't like that at all. No, I wouldn't like that at all.
then you should be quiet so they won't hear us. And
Oh
come.
right, right. No, it's just, it hurts. It hurts so much. Ugh.
I'm gonna find you and make it hurt more.
Merely protect me. You guys.
Now you see what I have to put up with all the time. These boys.
Are they always like this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't put myself into that category personally. Irwin,
Really.
you're looking like you disagree.
Wouldn't put yourself in the category of being one of the boys?
No, I think you're twisting what I am saying. I'll get back to you on that one.
Do you remember that time you tried to hit me, and then you missed and tumbled?
No, when was that?
In the Furbolg settlement. No, Bella.
No, I never tried to hit you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. let's go. Let's move on.
I honestly, is this a lapse in my memory? Have I been forgetting things? I honestly don't remember that.
I don't remember. I said Warth said something to you and you tried to hit him.
No, I don't remember doing that at
Missed
all.
and fell on your butt.
I probably have it in my notes.
Yeah, I'm looking in my notes as well. I don't remember doing that.
All your mental notes that you keep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Few, do you know how to write in your mental notes?
It's easier than the other way.
Of course. I would like to stop this recording now.